Our first guest today is Joanna. Joanna, if you want to come in, that would be fantastic. Yeah.
Hey.
Hi, how are
Joanna!
you?
Hi, how are you, everyone?
Yeah, great.
Really good to see you. I feel a little bit intimidated because you are one of the best presenters ever in this country. And I'm trying to do a job. You know, I look like an amateur trying to be a pro. Just don't worry, I'm just faking it. So
You're doing great, Yemi. You're doing awesome. Absolutely loving it.
Now, the interesting thing, Joanna, is that you are actually one of the main lead in this well-being series because you presented it. You met so many people. Your experience, your exposure. Tell us a little bit about this journey. What does that mean to you? What have you learned from it, and what would you like to say to people about this?
Oh, I absolutely loved going on this wellbeing journey from start to finish. It was incredible. Honestly, we met, like you said, Yemi, we met so many great people who were so inspiring, really challenged us to think about where we were. You know, I think some things that I hadn't even thought, not that were issues, but that even needed addressing and how they all linked together. I found it so interesting that your physical well-being has a knock-on effect on your relational well-being and your emotional well-being, and that for me it just made me think this is definitely something that I've got to take ownership of and got to take hold of. And from even part way through the filming, I said to the director Jay, I said, I've already started to make changes. I'm already on this journey. So it's absolutely brilliant. I would encourage anyone who's thinking about doing it, I just say definitely get on board, do it with some friends or family or whoever, and it's so worthwhile.
And Joanna, we took you to Bradford and Wolverhampton and Watford, and you went all over the place, didn't you?
We did. Honestly, I think in the space of a couple of weeks, I'd been to about 9 or 10 different cities. It was absolutely bonkers driving around in these minis, which are amazing.
How many miles do you think you did in the mini? Did you do a mini mileage count? Because you drove the mini, didn't you? One of the minis.
I did drive one of the minis. I didn't drive all the time.
Okay.
Little disclaimer there. Didn't drive all the time. But I have no idea. It must have racked up.
Did you get given the mini after the program?
Unfortunately not.
Oh no! That was in the script. You are supposed to take the mini with you.
I know.
I tried to keep the key, don't you, at the end? You haven't got the key. And right at the session 8, Joanna's like, oh no, I haven't got my key.
They were really minis. They were lovely. Really nice.
It's been fun, isn't it?
Oh, well,
one of your highlights.
Oh,
you've got more than one, but
yeah, it's a really tricky one. There were quite a few, but okay. First thing that kind of springs to mind was our chat with our lovely friend Jill.
Yes.
Where was it now?
Leamington. Jill was in Leamington,
and she's just epic. I think all of us, and she's she's been on the earth for quite a few years. But she's going strong, and she just inspired us. She was probably the longest interview that I did. I kept my interviews quite nice and concise because I was trying to be kind to the editor and sort of not give them reels and reels and reels of stuff to edit. So I was quite direct with my questions and knew where I wanted to go. We prepped people beforehand. But with Jill, I was like a little kid, and I just wanted to learn from her because she was so excited. She was telling us she gets up at 4 a.m. every day and logs on to her kind of people that she mentors in Myanmar, and telling us how she danced with Mick Jagger and how she had some shrapnel in her leg one time. We were just absolutely blown away by her. But everything that she said, I mean, so many people, but particularly with Jill, I was literally hanging off every word. And then we left, and then one of the cameramen sort of whispered, "Can I adopt you as my nana?"
She was talking about vocation, wasn't she? She was talking about finding your purpose in life.
Yeah. So people need to get all the way through to session 8 for that. So they've got to do the whole course to get to your highlight there, Joanna. So that is a good plug. That's a good plug because it comes in the last session.
there's more gold every time. There's gold, you know. No 2 episodes are the same because we meet different people every time. You can't kind of think, oh, well, I've done that, you know, I've ticked that box. No, you know, there's always something new. There's a new testimony to inspire you. There's new wisdom that comes out. It's just incredible. Yeah.
And we got beach balls and rugby balls. We've got everything in there.
Coming out of ovens.
That's quite funny. That's quite funny. The beach ball is good. Is there anything that you think you've like actually taken away, having like done all the filming? Is there anything that's sort of stuck with you that you might change?
Oh yeah, probably 2 things that spring to mind. The first and on the first day, my very first interview was up at CAP with John Kirkby, and that was the first thing I did on the journey. And I don't know whether it was some kind of God plan and purpose behind it, but to be honest, finances is the one area that I really needed to kind of get a handle on and address. And
you of all people,
say that again. You
of all people, you have finance problem. I would have thought you were very
well, do you know what it is? It's the fact that I'm self-employed. So obviously lots of stuff John talks about is he's saying budget, you know, plan and budget. But I said to him off camera, I said, I find that really difficult because I never know what's coming in each month. So how can I plan? How can I budget for what I don't know is going to be there? And I always kind of have to live a little bit, you know, with faith, but with, you know, with a bit of, okay, we're just gonna have to make it work. And he just gave me some really good tools to kind of put in place, even for somebody who's self-employed.
Wow.
And before the end of the filming, I'd already done those things. He sort of very simply said, you need to do this, and do this. And I felt a sense of freedom, actually. It's not like I had any more to play with, but I knew what I was doing. And he said, doesn't matter if you work out that you don't have enough, but you need to know where you're at. And it was just such wisdom, and I made changes straight away, and that was really amazing. The second,
that is brilliant. Yeah, honestly, there we are. Practical. Again, super practical, isn't it? All of the sessions.
So what's the second one?
But before I tell you the second one, I've got to tell you. So one of the things that he sort of said to me was it's about opening these like different accounts so I can manage my money. And I basically I'm like an advocate for these accounts. I keep telling people about it. You've got to do this. So I've already been kind of telling people what they should, especially people who are self-employed, going, don't worry, this is how you do it. That's been good.
Right.
Anyway, the second one was physical well-being. I'm quite a physical, I like my fitness and all of that kind of stuff. But I met one guy who's called Steve Goldspink, and he's in his 60s, and he made a massive sort of life turnaround and completely transformed his physical being. And I was so inspired by that, because I thought, wow, if you can do that and you're in your 60s, like, I've got no excuse, have I? What excuse have I got? Absolutely none. And I really was inspired by lots of people we met were saying, you know, Steve Uppal up in Wolverhampton and Jamie Jones Buchanan both said they exercise with their partners, and and how it's such a good way to build relational well-being at the same time. So before Christmas, before it was freezing outside, I took my son out for a run with me, and it was brilliant. He's 7 years old, and so I just think as he grows and gets older, he's probably going to want to talk to me less. But I thought, you know, if we're exercising together, we're out for a run, there's no distractions, no TV, there's nothing else that you can do. It's just me and you. So I was like, this is really good, and it's going to keep us kind of, you know, fit, but also help our relationship. So I was, you know, that for me, I thought it's definitely something that I want to continue to build on as well.
There will be many people who they're going to start that. Most churches or most people who will buy the series will start this week. What will you be saying to them as this is fantastic? Because people listening or who will listen after this program, what will you say to them and say, this is fantastic, go for it? What would be your kind of advice and guide from what you have experienced?
As in why to do it?
Yeah, why should they do it? Why should they be part of this
Honestly, okay, so this is the way I think about it. It's a little analogy for you, and I love an analogy. I feel like our kind of well-being is a little bit like, might sound really weird, but like the rubber doormat that sits outside my front door. So I've got this black rubber doormat, okay, and it's fine. It functions fine. You can stand on it, doesn't break. You can wipe your feet on it, it's all right. It's not broken, it's absolutely fine. There's nothing wrong with it. And that's how I kind of felt about my well-being. I felt like I'm fine. I'm all right. I'm ticking along, you know, a few things that, you know, I'm okay. But the thing with my mat is, if I leave it, especially when it's rainy and yucky out there and it gets leaves and stuff, still functioning fine. But when I pick it up, underneath it reveals worms, like the biggest, fattest, most disgusting worms. Honestly, it's pretty gross. You know, insects, the beautiful bugs, all sorts of colours. You know, there's so much stuff growing under there and living under there that I just have no idea about. I haven't noticed. But the thing is, until you pick up your mat and take a look at what's under there, you don't know what it is you need to do. And I feel like that's the same with our well-being. Until we pick up our mat and look inside ourselves and think and actually ask ourselves the questions about where am I actually at with my emotional well-being, where am I actually at with my relationships, then we don't know what to do and we can't move forward. So I think it's really, really important that we do this. And it's not like there's, you know, for some people there may not be massive things, you know, it might just be one area, but one area affects all of the areas. So I would just say it's so worthwhile doing. You can only grow and you can only come out better, and not only for you but for the people around you as well. So,
and we can all improve our well-being wherever we are. We can always make improvements, can't we? Because we can always do that little bit more on 100%. Something. And the thing about this is it does build a bridge for not yet Christians, doesn't it? Because it's a really accessible series for any of your friends or anything like that, isn't it?
Absolutely. I mean, I've been talking to everybody about it, Christian friends and non-Christian friends alike, and it almost doesn't matter. Like, we're whole beings and we're all made the same way. You know, I think all of us will be dealing with the same issues, and I definitely think it's a great way. I'd encourage anyone, whether you've got faith or not, I'd say it doesn't really matter, just get involved and do it.
It's great.
Oh, fantastic, Joanna, you have been amazing. And one of the things before we round off with you is that, do you have any advice for Roy, because he needs a bit of well-being? I mean, of all the courses you've done, of all those series, which one do you think he needs?
What is it we need, Roy? I don't know. I feel like Roy's just wonderful.
What?
See, Joanna, you're too scared. You're too scared to say anything. You're just. Hey, Joanna, we were on the Talking Jesus, which was amazing.
Yeah.
Which is still going out. And then you've done this one. We'll have to look at the next one, Joanna.
Yeah, we love it's great. What a team. You're definitely part of the team.
You're part of Hope now, the way
That's
it is.
it.
You are Roy is the president for Hope. We probably kind of vote you in as the vice president.
There we are. Yeah, we haven't got a vice president. We've got lots of other roles, but hey, we could
Vice President, when we impeach Roy, you can easily become the president. We just turned into Banana Empire.
Just quickly though, how did you get on with Simon? Because you and Simon were both presenting this together. How did that work?
Yeah, so do you know what? For a lot of the journey, and so when I interviewed you, Roy, I was by myself, wasn't I, up in Rugby? So we did quite a lot of our journey by ourselves, and then when we came together and did the bits in the studio, it was fantastic. I'd not worked with Simon before, and he's got such a great energy. I mean, as you've obviously watched them, we were throwing bananas across the room at one another after a couple of hours, jumping over fences, and it was just brilliant. Great guy to work with.
It looked like you had so much fun just like hanging out.
Do you know, and I've got to give absolute credit to the crew as well, to Jay, to Jess, to Ian, and to his nickname's Hightower, but Josh. You know, they were absolutely brilliant. I mean, they worked tirelessly. I was only on the journey for half of it because Simon was obviously doing the bits that I wasn't doing, and they just worked so hard but kept such a good energy the whole time. It's just so much fun, honestly, hands down, like, you know, one of the best crews I've ever worked with. Just such an honor.
Awesome. Joanna, what would be your last word for anybody watching this about this well-being journey? What would you like to say?
Oh, come on, go on, do it. Come on the journey. That's what I want to say to you. Just come on.
Okay, I'm going to sign up for it and try to do it. And
do it.
How that helps my relationship with Roy and Rachel. Thanks very much, Joanna. It's really good to have you. We appreciate what we've done for Hope and what we've done for the Wellbeing Journey and Talking Jesus. We can't thank you enough.
It's a pleasure.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yemi, you know of a church that's just kind of kicked it in tonight, don't you?
Just started the Wellbeing Journey is what Roy's saying. A church just started it.
Oh, a church, yeah. A church. I know a church where they've started the Wellbeing Journey, and then they are running 8 different groups in the church. So a friend of mine is leading one of the groups. So it's almost like the old church is doing it. So they are doing all the series, but they are in different, like 8 to 10 in a group, trying to do it. And the interesting thing is that the guy invited me. Yeah, I mean, we would like to come on the Wellbeing Journey. We are running a course tonight in my church. I'm like,
that's great.
That's my gig. So thanks, Joanna. We hope sometimes when the COVID is over. I'm looking forward to buying you a cup of coffee. Thank you. Bless you.
Thanks, guys.
See you again soon.
Bye.
Bye.